Here come your Proctor Rails. Well, welcome everybody to this morning's matchup between the two neighboring cities, Proctor and Hermantown. 4.5 hours away, playing our neighbors. Winner of today's game advances to the quarterfinals for the double elimination bracket. Loser of this game goes home.
Good morning, please line up for the blue lights.
All right, everybody. Saturday morning. Ready to start this elimination game between Hermantown and Proctor. Winner advances to the double elimination quarterfinals. Loser packs up and goes home. .15 on the clock. First period about to start. Brecken on the dot. Hermantown with it, taken away by Ruxin. He's battling at center ice. Comes away with it. Forces that into the offensive zone. He gets checked into the wall. Hermantown clears it down into the corner. Matt chips this one up through to the middle. He's out. Hermantown returns this right back into the zone, but offsides. 27 seconds into the period, we get an offsides call. Face-off comes outside the rail's end. Jacqueline will take the draw with Gray and Bria on the wings. Jacqueline wins it to Bria. She pushes that to the middle. Hermantown dump that in alongside the net. Garrett tries to drop from Matt behind the net. Hermantown takes it away. Centers. Bria in the circle. Able to get past the pinching defender and out of the zone. She'll dump this in. That goes wide of the net. Hermantown overskated it behind the net. Sends it up the near side wall and out. Matt picks this up at center ice. Backpedals, sends it back ahead. Hermantown on intercept. Shot there. Pad save from Jace into the far corner. Up to the line, but not out. That gets rimmed around. Matt near side corner. Plays it ahead. That's intercepted. Hawks try to walk to the middle. Poke to the line. Not out. Second effort from Bria. Does force it out, though. Hawks be forced to regroup. Back into the zone. They don't get into the zone. Declan takes that away. He's into the zone on the near side. Fires that one wide of the net. Hermantown loses an edge. Trying to get out of the corner. Griffin has the puck. Bottom of the circle. Curls in the corner. Sends it out. Max, one-time shot. Oh, he fanned on it. Fell down. Hermantown able to clear. Miles stifles at center ice. Gives it back to Max into the offensive zone. He goes. Outside circle. He'll dump this one in behind. Hermantown with the puck in the near corner. Stretch pass. That's intercepted. Hawks able to get it out at the blue line. Into the zone down the near wall. And Matt takes it away. Sends it back to the points. Tony picks that up. Starts ahead. 2-on-3 as they cross. He'll fire one on net from the blue line. Saved and melted down. 13 minutes left in the first. Offensive zone draw coming for the Rails. Does Max need his skates sharpened? Draw goes into the defensive corner for the Hawks. Around behind, intercepted by Gray. He's pinned along the wall. Will in there helping out. Hawks come away with it. Tipped up the near side wall and out. Chips into the offensive zone with speed. They'll be the first ones on it in the corner. Around behind the net. To the near side point. Fires a shot that hits Will out front. Hawks get it back. He loses an edge on the near side wall. Garrett tries to chip it out. That's held in on the half wall. Down behind, give and go out front. It's in the high slot. Hawks put one towards the net. That goes wide. Hermantown. Poke to the near wall, far wall. Gray with a battle there. He loses an edge. Hawks will be able to control. Brink wide, dumped back into the near side corner. Garrett, backhander to the point, but not out. He gets it back, sidesteps the defender, and he's out. Garrett into the offensive zone, winds, fires, hits a shin pad. Second effort, comes to the line. Brecken holds. Brecken walks down into the slot. He gets a shot on, bumped. That goes wide of the net. Hawks out of the zone, into the offensive zone, down the far wall. Turns to the middle, shot, that goes wide. Matt holds off a player as he plays it ahead for Bria. Jumps up from the point. This goes in towards the goalie. Garrett will clear. He rims it hard around, far wall. Max to the line, but not out. Second effort, does get it out. Back into the zone, but offsides. Hawks hadn't yet cleared. 11-17 left. We'll get another neutral zone draw. Hawks. Oh. Late substitution was the call on that one, so Hawks had 6 players on the ice. We'll reset. Draw one back, Matt has. Rink wide pass, springs Max out of the zone. He reaches the red line, dumps it into the corner. Bria putting the pressure on. Hawks cleared up the wall. Matt holds at the point. His shot deflects off a stick into the corner. Declan on it on the half wall, plays it back to the point. Max holds, fires it back down the wall. Clearing attempt, knocked down by Declan. Second attempt now, up out of the zone. Matt will hustle over, pick this one up. Backhands it back up the wall. Max from the half wall chips it up and out. Declan will pick that one up and start ahead. Declan rubbed into the wall there. Hawks will take it away, retreat behind their own net. Passed ahead, that misses everybody. Icing the call. 10:23 left in the first period. Rails get an offensive zone faceoff after the icing call. Hawks win the draw to the corner. They cleared around behind. Sent right back up the near side. Picked up on the half wall, and they'll start out. Pass to the middle, chip to the far line and in. Disrupted by Miles. Ruxin able to get it out of the zone. Hawks into the zone. They're on sides. Cuts to the middle. Shot there, goes wide. Hawks pick it up behind the net. Pass to the near side corner, back in behind. Centering attempt, comes all the way to the point. Shot there, blocked by Will. It comes up out of the zone. Hawks push it to the far wall. They overskate, but they do second effort, puts it into the zone. Miles interrupts. His clearing attempt hits a shin pad. Hawks down low, saved from Jace off the glove into the near corner. Will plays it up the wall. Brecken centers. Hawks shoot, gloved, held onto by Jace. 9:28 left in the first. We'll get a line change here and a defensive zone faceoff for the Rails. Tony on the dot for the Rails. Hawks win it back to the point. Shot blocked by Max. Matt battling along the end wall. Tony over to help out. Still battling along the wall. Hawks emerge with it. Play it up the wall, but that's intercepted by Griffin. He's plastered to the wall, but does get the puck out. That'll be offsides. Hawks win the draw. And it's taken away by Max. He pushes it into the zone, spun around. Tony will pick it up on the near wall. Tony works down into the circle. Max battling on the half wall. Matt, one-timer from the point. That hits traffic. Hawks able to get it to the line, but not out. Broken stick. Matt walks down into the far circle. Turns, fires. Pad save. Matt back in the corner with it. Sidesteps one player. Works to the circle. Goes around behind. Plays it to Max in the circle. Plays it ahead. Shot. That hits a body out front. Max gets it back. Shot. Stick save. Puck loose out front. Tony pushed it into the near corner. Cleared up the wall. Matt holds at the blue line. He fires it right down into the corner. Holds possession. Griffin, far corner. Battles up the half wall. Able to hold it in. Loose. There's some loose lumber out there. Garrett couldn't hold the line. Hawks will start ahead. 2-on-1 with some trailers. Played over to the middle. Shot. Scores! Hawks are on the board first. 8:09 left in the first period. 2-on-1 scores. Went back against the grain over the blocker on Jace. Rails trailing halfway through the first period. Draw comes to the near side wall, into the offensive zone. That ramps off a stick into the netting behind the goal. So defensive zone draw upcoming here for the Rails. Puck bounces to the corner. Hawks have possession. Around behind the net. Dumped back down to the corner. Hawks will pick it up there. Sidesteps a player. Declan picks it up. Skates through the circle. It's poked off his stick. Hawks have it back. Centered out front. That squirts through the slot. Bria up the near wall. Plays it ahead. That's too hard for Declan, but he does take it away at center ice. Runs into Gray. Hawks chip it ahead into the zone. Matt tips it. Declan clears the zone. He'll start up the far wall with it. Into the offensive zone. He's checked. No call. Hawks, rink wide pass. Try to stretch it back. Gray intercepts that one. Declan picks it up into the zone. Works down into the slot. Cleared to the line. That comes out. Matt picks it up at center ice. Matt ahead for Gray. That ramped off his stick. He'll get it back. Hawks dumping into the corner. Miles, the first one on it, in behind the net. Comes up the near side wall. Plays it ahead for Bria. That's intercepted. Hawks right into the zone with speed. Cuts into the front. Hits the side of the net with a backhand shot. Miles back in the corner with it. Starts ahead. He'll cross the blue line. Tries to go rink wide. Hits Gray. Gray stops. Forces it into the zone. The Rails changing as the Hawks curl in their own end and start ahead. Declan, first one on it there. Forces it back down to the corner. Will giving chase. Hawks have it behind their own net. Play it back near side. Tipped up and out. Rink wide pass intercepted by Miles. Hawks will get it back and dump it right in. Off the base of the net. Garrett will play it. Up the wall. Take it away. Garrett gets it back in the corner. Circles. Fires it back up the wall. That gets to the blue line. That's held in. Hawks walking down the wall. Poke to the corner. In behind now. Sent out front. Shot. Scores! Tic-tac-toe. Hawks get loose out front, and they score to add to the lead. 5:59 left in the first period. Rails find themselves in a hole by 2. Brecken wins the draw over for Will. Taken away at the blue line. Garrett picks it up, plays it ahead for Brecken. He sends it ahead, but that's stolen. Hawks dump it down into the corner. Matt, the first one on it. He's pinned into the wall. Hawks come away with it. Out front, back to the near side point. Walks to the middle. Sidesteps, past the side. Saved by Jace. He got a blocker on it. Matt battles along the wall. Hawks have it now in behind the net. Send it back out front. Will intercepts. Will backhands it out on the far side wall. Hawks will be forced to retreat to their own end. Hermantown plays at the center ice. Turns and into the offensive zone on the far wall. Down to the corner. They'll rim it around behind. Hawks with possession in behind the goal. Drop back behind the net. Sent out front. Deflected. The puck's loose in the slot. Max picks it up in the near side circle. He'll play it ahead for Garrett. Garrett carries it up the near side wall. Overskated it. Couldn't get it into the zone. Matt now on the near side wall. Chipped around him into the offensive zone. Hawks have it in the corner. Garrett takes it away there. Plays it around the far side wall. Tony picks up the loose change. Tipped from Griffin. Hands it back to Garrett. Garrett from the blue line. Fires high. Glove save. 4:32 left in the first period. Rails down 2. Offensive zone faceoff upcoming. Hawks win the draw to the corner, played up the wall, taken away by Tony. Tony and Max battling for it down there. Chipped up the wall. Miles has it at top of the circles. Down to the circle for Tony. He puts one in on net. Pad saved and melted down by the Hawks goaltender. Tony wins the draw back for Miles. He sidesteps a player. Puts this one towards the net. Bounces in. Hawks take it away. They'll start up the near side wall. Miles takes it away at center ice. Fires it right back into the zone. Hawks from behind their own net. Up the far side into the offensive zone. Cuts to the middle. Poke check there. Miles hops on it. Top of the circle. He'll start out of the zone there. Hands it off to Tony at center ice. Tony past one player. Chipped right back out. Miles puts it back into the zone. Hawks will turn in the high slot. Sidesteps one out of the zone. Into the zone down the far side. Tries to go to the middle. Garrett takes that one away. Garrett caught from behind. He's hooked. No call. Able to force this one in behind the goal. Gray overskated behind the net. Hawks curl. Dump it to the near side corner. Declan putting the pressure on there. Miles up from the point. Can't hold the zone. Clear goes right to Garrett. He walks in the zone on the far side. Forces one on net. Pad save. Hawks to the line. Miles will hold there. Walks in. Shoots. That just missed the net. Rolls up the far wall. Garrett hustles in. Able to force it to the corner. He'll give chase. Battling in behind the net. Hawks come away. Cuts to the middle as they get to center ice. They'll go in on the far side. Down into the middle. Jace poke checks it to the near far corner. Declan will pick up the loose change there. Plays it up the wall and out. Declan has a poke check there. Gray covers up. Declan turns, fires, sticked into the corner by the goaltender. Hawks dance at the blue line, get out of the zone. Into the offensive zone in the middle. Hard shot. Blocker save from Jace. Rocks up the wall but not out. Hawks across to the near side blue line. That squirts outside the zone. They'll have to regroup. Rink wide pass. And dumped in from the red line. That hits the referee. Puck comes right back out. Dumped back in. Garrett will have to play it from the corner. Garrett stops. Plays it back to the corner. Declan there. Plays it ahead. That's intercepted. Battle along the wall now. Puck squirts free. Hawks from the dot. Shoot. That hits the side of the net. And we get a whistle. Net was off its moorings. 1:39 remains in the first. We will get a defensive zone draw here for the Rails. Still trailing by 2. Buxton wins the draw over to Miles. Matt clears it back up the near side wall. Hawks will pinch from the blue line. Miles gets that one. Fans on a clearing attempt. He's pinned to the wall. Will plays it around behind. Matt picks that one up on the half wall. Able to get it up and out of the zone. Stripped to the puck at center ice. Hawks right back into the zone. Down into this drop pass. Shot from the circle. Scores! Jace was screened out front. I think Matt was in front of him. Nifty little drop pass. Shot from the top of the circle. Goes far side over the blocker. And the Hawks now lead 3-0 with 1:11 left in the first. Hawks win the draw. Start up the far side wall, dump it into the corner. Matt plays back to the corner for Tony. He chips this one ahead, and Griffin will tip it out of the zone. Hawks take it away at center ice. Backhanded into the zone. Miles will be the first one on it down in the corner. Still battling in behind the net. Puck comes out past the goal line. Miles now has. He starts up the near side wall. Protects. Loses it to 3 Hawks players. Shot there, gloved and held onto by Jace. 30.3 left in the first. Hawks win the draw back to the point. They settle it down, send it into the circle. Garrett takes it away. Max tries to clear, can't. Second effort will. Hawks play it back to the middle, into the zone. Shot from the slot, blocker to side. Rack on net, that was a friendly fire. Chase melts it down with 14.4 left in the first. Hawks win back to the point. Shot from there, tipped. That goes into the near side corner. Hermantown picks it up there. Miles comes over, takes it away, battling along the wall. 3 seconds left. 2. And that'll end the first period. Hawks, after 1, down 3-0. Shots that period. Hawks with 9 for a first period save total for Jace of 6. First period shots for the Rails, 4 for the first period save total for the Hawks goaltender of 4. We'll take a brief break and come right back for you. All right, 15 minutes back on the clock. We've switched sides for the second period, about to start. Brecken centering Will and Ruxin. Got Miles and Matt at the points. Draw one back to the far side wall. Hawks play it ahead. They'll dump this one in behind the goal. Hawks' first one's on it. Dump it back in behind the goal. Sent back out front. Shot off the mask. Rebound. Comes back in on James. He'll find it. Hawks creating a ton of confusion. Just passing the puck. Shot hit Jason the mask. Rebound came free. Second shot trickled in on net. He was able to cover. Hawks win it back to the far point. Shot there. Kick to the corner by Jace. Sent back out front. Shot. Rebound. Scores. Hawks back on top. Their extended lead 4-0. Number 17 all alone out front. Got 2 attempts at it. Scored on his second. 14:35 left in the second. Hawks now lead 4-0. Garrett off the draw, plays it ahead. Bria chips it out of the zone. Hawks turn, fire, put it back in, but offsides. 14:24 left. Jacqueline wins the draw back, chipped over to the far wall. Miles protects, plays ahead. Jacqueline into the zone, stripped of the puck. Hawks right back out. Miles at the blue line, slows it up. Hawks pick it up there, down the wall. Sent in behind the net. Control up the near side wall, played to the points, held in there. Shot tips wide of the net. Garrett plays it around behind. Gray will be the first one on it on the half wall. Clears it up to the point, but not out. Sent back down in behind the goal. Hawks first one's on it. They turn. Play to the slot. Shot. That goes wide. Battle along the near side wall. Hawks will force it back into the corner. Miles battling in behind the net. He's got 2 Hawks players on him. Hawks come away. Turn in the corner. Play catch in behind the net. Sent back around behind. Hawks will be the first ones on it in the near side corner. Crosses to the middle. Shot from the slot. Stick save. Jason smother. 13:08 left in the second. Defensive zone draw coming. Hawks win the draw back to the far point. This will be dumped down in behind the goal. Comes around behind. Stops, pivots, pass to the circle. Cleared to the point, but not out. Hawks walk down the wall with it now. Sent back into the slot. Hard shot, blocked by Matt. Cleared to the line. Griffin able to get it out. A couple of Hawks players hustle back, take it away. Off the far wall, Max intercepts, waits for Tony to get back in, dumps it into the near side. Hawks rink-wide pass, far circle, play up the wall. Garrett jumps, keeps it in on the line. He backhands one towards the net. That'll be saved and held on to. 12:26 left in the second. Rails on the offensive zone draw. Draw to the end wall. Griffin, the first one on it, tries to center, hits a skate. He's taken down, played up to the near side wall. Hawks flip it out. Into the zone down the near side, cuts to the middle. Pressure there from Max, forces them to the far wall. Hawks still with possession, around behind the net. That's played up to the near side point. This will be dumped back down into the circle. Matt overskated. Hawks trying to force it in on net. Garrett takes that away. Garrett starts out the near side, cuts back to the middle. Poke checked at center ice. Matt picks up the loose change. He'll dump this one towards the line. The Hawks glove it down, send it right back into the zone. Foot race into the end wall for it. Icing is the call. 11:39 left in the second period. Icing call puts the draw in the offensive zone for the Rails. Draw one back. Miles flips this one off a stick. That hits the goalie out front. Hawks cleared up the far wall, tipped, and they'll be out of the zone efficiently. Into the offensive zone. Matt pokes to the far wall. Hawks pick it up. Sent in behind the goal. Ruxin on it on the half wall. Up to the Will in the middle. Pass ahead, tipped away from Brecken. Hawks send it back up the wall. Ruxin battling. Puck loose. Will walks into the zone now with it. He turns. Loses an edge. Brecken will force this one down into the end wall. Hawks up the far wall. Rink wide pass intercepted. Matt jumps up, holds the line, puts it back into the half wall. Hawks first one's on it. They'll start right back out of the zone. Down the far wall he goes. Poke check there. Ruxin picks it up, sends it ahead. Hawks take it away. Brecken now gets it. He'll backhand it out of the zone. Hawks dump it in. Matt takes it away just inside the line. Flips it ahead. Hawks intercept outside the line. Will tries to dump it in. That doesn't go. Second effort from the Hawks. Dump it into the end. That's icing. 10:24 left in the second. Another offensive zone draw upcoming for the Rails. Hawks win the draw back to the corner. Play it around behind their own net. Chipped up and out of the zone up the near wall. It goes through Garrett's skates. Declan picks it up, turns. Able to fight off the defender there, force it into the offensive zone. Bria picks it up, fires, stick save. Hermantown goaltender will cover. 10:05 left in the second. Declan wins the draw back. Gray tries to chip to the point. That gets intercepted. Hawks clear. They're into the offensive zone down the near side wall. Chip back to the circle. Hawks still have. Turns, fires it back down the wall. Hawks will pick it up, walk into the circle. Shot, gloved, held onto by Chase. 9:44 left in the second. Hawks win it back to the point. Sent back down. Centered from the circle. That flipped up over the net. Hawks have it in the far corner now. Played around to find, tipped out front. Short angle shot. Two whacks at it. Jace stands tall, hangs on. 9:27 left in the second period. Declan on the dot. Hawks have it. Forced down to the corner. Turns. Turns again. Pass behind the net to the near side corner. Hawks on the half wall. Down to the corner. Declan rims it around. Tipped by Gray to the point, but not out. That's held in. Sent right back around behind the net. Matt battling. Forces it up the wall. The Hawks will pick it up there. Turns. Walks towards the circle. Matt sweeps it to the line and out. Hawks play it back. Dump it in from the red line. That gets to the end wall. Matt picks it up, circles behind the net. Hard off the near side wall. Bria shovels it ahead out of the zone. Hawks pass it far side, dump it right back into the corner. Matt picks it up there, takes a look, plays it over to Garrett on the wall. He backhands it towards the line. That's held in. Hawks right around back behind the net. They play catch behind the net. Far corner, sends it out to the slot. Shot there, blocker save from Jace, pushes it to the near side wall. Matt backhands it up the wall. That's taken away. Hawks, bottom of the circle, center to the slot, blocked by Garrett. Garrett carries it up out of the zone. Back pressure there, forces it wide. Hawks will pass it near side, tipped ahead into the zone. Centering attempt, rolls off tips off a stick into the far corner. Hawks control on the half wall, send it down to the corner. Walks out front, around behind. Plays back to the near side point. Walks the line, fires it right back into the corner. Hawks behind the nets. Sent back to the near side corner. Bria on it on the half wall. Plays it ahead. That's tipped. Held in at the point. Hawks walk the line. Down into the slot. Shot. Tip. Save. Puck's loose. Quick whistle. Puck was never covered. Jace had the leg out. Referee lost sight of it. 7:27 left in the period. Defensive zone draw coming for the Rails. Draw goes to Max in the far circle. He carries it up out of the zone. Back pressure there. Pokes it free at center ice. Hawks right back into the zone. Turns bottom of the circle. Centers. Tipped by Matt. Puck's loose in the high slots. Can't be cleared. Hawks have it. Turn. Dump. Tip back to the points. Back into the circle. Shot there. Goes wide. Puck still loose in the slot. Bouncing around. Matt clears to the circle. He's bumped. Able to get it back. He starts up the near side wall, forces it into the zone. Hawks pick it up, send it back off the near side wall. Into the offensive zone they go. Hops into the zone, sends it down to the corner. Hawks around behind the net. Good pressure from Miles, forces them to turn back. That's sent around behind. Hawks will be content just to put it in behind the net once more. Tony behind the net picks this one up, plays it up the far side wall for Max. He battles along the wall, up but not out. Hawks hold the zone, back down to the corner they go. Miles controls the puck, turns into the circle, he's stripped of the puck. Hawks have it on the half wall, play back to the point. Sent back down to the half wall, to the slot, shot, scores! (5-0) with 6:06 left in the second period on the 20th shot of the game for the Hawks. Hawks win the draw back. Played ahead to the blue line and in. Cuts to the middle, shot, that goes wide. Hawks in behind the net. Stifled there, they come back near side, comes into the slot. Hawks turn and tip back to the point. They'll fire that one down into the corner. Furthered behind, Miles picks it up behind the net, chips it up ahead for Ruxin. Chips it past the pinching defender, but the Hawks are able to cover up. Right back into the corner with it. Comes back out near side. Jace with the paddle down. Gets that one back to the near side wall. Rux chips it up and out of the zone. Hawks will be forced to regroup at center ice. Hawks into the zone on the far side. They cut to the middle. Taken away by Rux to the line but not out. Shot goes off a skate to the far wall. Hawks have it on the near wall. Tip back to the point. Held in, dumped back to the corner. Miles plays it ahead. Ruxin up and out of the zone. That's going to go the length of the ice. Will be icing. 4:55 left in the second period. Offensive or defensive zone draw here for the Rails off the icing call. Hawks win the draw. Near side point shot. That's deflected into the corner. Gray slaps this one to the line but not out. Hawks fire it in behind the net once more. Garrett picks it up alongside the goal. Plays it ahead. That gets through everybody. It's going to skitter all the way down, and that'll be icing once more with 4:38 left in the second. Declan wins the draw. Bria jumps on it in the circle, starts out of the zone. She'll dump it into the offensive zone all the way to the end. Hustles ahead. She's got it in the corner, sends it out front, tipped in on net and scores! That's Gray from Bria and Declan. Rails are on the board with 4:24 left in the second period. Declan wins the draw back for Garrett. He starts up the far side, fans on a dumping attempt. Hawks take it away into the offensive zone. Cuts to the middle, pass across. Matt poke checks that away before they can get the shot off. Tries to play it up, that's intercepted. Hawks play it up and out of the zone. Cross ice pass doesn't connect. Garrett turns at the blue line, starts ahead, runs into a couple of Hawks players. Dump-in attempt, forwarded the first time. Declan will pick it up now. Declan rink wide for Garrett. He starts ahead into the offensive zone on the far wall, chips it down into the end wall, gives chase. Hawks clear it hard around the near side. Matt holds the blue line, able to get it past one defender. Hawks pick it up in the circle, stretch pass, that's tipped into the corner. That had been a breakaway had Declan not touched it. Matt clears it up the wall, held it at the hash marks. Hawks around behind with possession to the near circle, tip to the blue line. Shot from there into the goal. That went posted in all along the ice. 6-1 with 3:22 left in the second. Miles with possession off the draw. Hawks take it away, dump it into the corner. Matt from behind the net plays it to the corner. Griffin battling there. The Hawks take it away. Short angle shot off the pad. Puck loose. Chase Smothers. Shot came through the crease from the goal line. Chase had the post sealed. Couple of whacks at it before he covered. We'll get another defensive zone draw here. Hawks win the draw, back to the point. Matt chips it up the wall there. Dump back down. Tony back to the line. Griffin forces it out. Hawks at the blue line. Tony forces it into the zone. Griffin battling there. It's chipped up and out. Matt picks it up at the blue line. Turns. Rink wide pass intercepted. Hawks into the zone with it. Fans on the first shot. Gets it back. Looks for the centering attempt. Off the side of the net. Hawks have it back. They send it to the high slot. Pump off the stick. Max out of the zone. Cuts into the zone. Has the puck on the far wall. Back pressure there. Takes the puck away. Battle in behind. Griffin and Max battling for it behind the goal. Puck squirts free. Hawks have it in the corner. Max takes it away. Forces it back down. Played up the wall. Hawks will clear. That goes the length of the ice for an icing. 2 minutes even left in the second. Rails get a offensive zone face-off here. Let's see if they can convert. Draw one back to the corner by the Hawks. They play it around behind, chipped up to the blue line. Miles backhands it further, and Ruxin furthers it. Hawks have it in behind the net. Up to the far hash marks, centered and out of the zone. Hawks from the red line, dump it in. Garrett picks it up on the end wall, stops there, plays it near side for Miles. Miles with a backhand attempt, gets it up to the blue line but not out. Garrett battling along the half wall, does clear. Ruxin picks it up, his pass, tipped back into the zone, but Hawks were still in, offside, there's 1:23 left. Hawks win the draw, force it down into the corner. Garrett with it there, backhands around up to the hash marks. Will with a stick lift, but then the Hawks back into the slot. Shot block there. Garrett tries to clear, that hits a body. Miles from the bottom of the circle, chips it up the wall. Hawks hold it in. Will now with it along the wall. He puts it through the center of the ice, all the way to the near side wall into the zone. Hawks will retreat. Chip it back up. Garrett has it at center ice, has to wait for his team to get on sides. Turns, starts back in on the near side, into the zone. Shot, pad save, puck loose. Hawks first one's on it. They'll play it to the near side, far side corner. Bracken intercepts a dump out attempt. He's battling with Will on the far wall. Will pushes it behind the goal. Hawks around behind. Start up the near side wall with speed. Out of the zone, cuts to the middle, into the offensive zone, still has possession. Puck squirts free. Garrett picks it up, plays it to the middle for Bracken, hand it off to Miles. He'll backhand it into the offensive zone. Hawks around behind their own net. Up the near side wall, tipped ahead out of the zone. Into the zone on the near side, cuts to the middle, and that ends the period. 6-1 after 2. Second period shot total for the Hawks, 14 for a second period save total for Jace of 11. Second period shot total for the Rails, 3 for a second period save total for the Hermantown goaltender of 3. Rails trailing by 6 after 2. We're going to take a 15-minute break while they resurface the ice and come back for the third. All right, everybody, your Proctor Rails returning to the ice for the third period. Do or die, down 6-1. Opening draw of third period, dumped into the end wall by the Hawks. Matt has it, starts up through the circle, picks up a head of steam through center ice. He'll just flip this one in behind the goal. He gives chase. Hawks return it back behind the goal. Played up the far side wall. Garrett holds at the blue line, fires a shot in on net. Pad save, rebound, pushed wide of the net by Will. Hawks up the near side wall, tip to the middle. They're out of the zone efficiently. Tip back to the near side, into the zone, drop pass. Walks down the wall. Matt will force it to the end wall. Matt battling along the wall still, chips it into the circle for Will. Will starts ahead, surveys up the ice. Pass ahead, hits Brecken, intercepted. Puck skitters free just outside the line. Brecken picks it up, circles at the red line, turns back in. Runs into a couple of Hawks players. Hawks will turn, cross the zone in their own end, start out the far side. Into the offensive zone they come. Cuts to the middle, rolls off the end of his stick in behind the net. Hawks with possession, near side. Puts it back towards the goal line. Matt intercepts, chips this one up the wall. Hawks play it right back to the corner. Fox skitters along behind the net. Garrett with it in the far corner now. Up the ice, that missed both Ruxin and Bria. That'll hit the end wall for an icing. 13:27 left in the third. Rails forced to play from their own end. Hawks win the draw back to the point. Shot tipped wide. Miles bumps a player along the wall. Hawks have possession. They walk to the circle. Shot. That goes wide. Hawks have it behind the net. Start back out front. Pass through the slots. Tips to the near side wall. Hawks will hold at the blue line. Set right back into the corner. Hawks from the corner. Around behind the net. Surveys. Played to the high slot. Shot from there. Tipped in on net. It's underneath Chase. We do get a whistle. Was underneath Jace, came back free. Late shot. They're saying no goal. 12:53 left in the third. Fortunate whistle there for the Rails and a defensive zone draw upcoming. Hawks with possession around behind the net. Comes back out front. Shot from the goal line. Jace makes the save. Puck cleared to the far circle. Played up the wall. Griffin able to chip that one out of the zone. Tony races ahead. He's able to force it down into the offensive zone. Has it along the wall. Backhands one towards the net. Sticked in behind. Griffin now with it behind the net. Sends it to the slots. Deflected up the far wall. Held in by Miles temporarily. The Hawks pick it up and send it right back out. Hawks start ahead into the zone down the far side. Drop pass. Walks to the middle. Shot. Scores! 12:14 left in the third. Hawks extend the lead to 6. Now 7-1. Draw one back by the Hawks. Start up the far side wall. Played ahead into the slot. Shot ramps off a stick, hits the netting. Out of play. Faceoff comes to the near side circle in the defensive zone. Draw to the middle, quick shot. Jace down to make the save. He'll melt it down. Hawks win the draw back to the point. D-to-D pass. Shot from the middle. Save. Garrett clears the rebound. Up off the far wall. Held in at the point. Dumped right back in. That hits Garrett at the hash marks. He plays it up the wall. Tip to the middle. Will able to chip it back to the wall and out. Will gets it back from Brecken. Hits a couple of skates. Matt picks up the loose puck. That skitters off his stick. Hawks force it into the zone. Matt with an attempt off to the line. That's held in. Puck loose. Will over to Brecken out of the zone. Brecken fires this one in behind the goal. Hawks will be the first one on it. Played up the near side wall. Ruxin temporarily holds, but the Hawks will pick that one up. Stop. Poke check from Rux. Knocks it loose at center ice. Will over to Brecken into the offensive zone. Backhands one fluttering up and caught by the goaltender in the crease. 11-12 left in the third. Draw one back to Will. Shot from Miles is partially fanned on. Hawks start right back out of the zone. Drop pass at the blue line. Shot there, blocked by Matt. Puck squirts into the corner. Hawks will be the first ones on it. Play it around into the near side. Miles bumps the player there. Will battling. Tip back to the point. Held in. Hawks back down to the wall. Cut towards the middle. Sharp angle shot saved by Jace. Hawks have it behind the goal again. Let's play to the near side wall. Down from the point. They'll play it right back to the corner. Around behind the net. They survey. Hawks played out front. Held in at the blue line. Walks down into the slots. That shot goes wide. Matt picks it up. Circles behind the net. Starts out the near side. He overskates. Backhands it out of the zone. Brecken over for Ruxin, but he doesn't play it in offsides. We are in running time with 10 minutes left in the third. Draw one by Declan. Bria forces it into the offensive zone. Puck squirts to the near side wall. Bria's got it. Puts it into the circle. Declan battling for it. Gray rattling for it there. He's got it in the corner. Centers. Hawks take it away. Circle behind their net. Start up the far side. To the middle. Chipped into the zone. Garrett and Miles in the corner battling for it. Garrett forces it up the near side wall for Bria. She tips for Declan out of the zone. Declan had it roll off his stick at center ice. Bria comes up, takes it away. Declan into the offensive zone, cuts to the middle. On his backhand into the circle. Gray now has. Back to the point for Miles. He blows up, fires off a shin pad. Gray has it. He'll shoot one on net, tips into the corner. Bria got a stick on that one. Hawks have it now behind the goal. Played to the near side wall. Up ahead, onto the zone. That's dumped all the way down. That'll go for icing. 8:52 and counting left in the third. Rails get an offensive zone faceoff here. Draw one back by the Hawks. They retreat behind their own net, send it to the far wall. Stretch pass, tipped by a Hawks or by a Rail player. Matt, the first one on it, plays it back up the wall. Hawks have it, chip it down to the corner. Matt battling there, takes it away, plays it up the wall. It does skip out of the zone. Icing was waved off. It was tipped by a Hawks player. Hawks forced to play it from behind their own net. They start up through center ice. Chipped up near side into the zone. Drop pass at the blue line. Shot from there goes through the crease wide. Hawks on it on the far half wall. Garrett takes that one away. Plays it up the wall. Hawks will hold. Garrett hops on it in the circle. Skitters to the near side wall. Matt hustles over. Can't get it out. Second effort. Settles the puck down. Chips it off the glass forward. Bria. She sweeps it ahead. Misses Declan, but they were across the red line, so no icing. Hawks, far side corner, start ahead. Played up the wall. Garrett intercepts at the blue line, walks down the wall with it. He's got it on the half wall. Played back up, held in by Declan. He'll fire it off the wall down to the corner. Max hustles ahead. Max battling along the half wall now. Griffin comes over to help out. Puck squirts free. Matt has it at center ice. Fires it back off the wall into the zone. They're going to say offsides. Griffin hadn't quite cleared. 6:55 and counting left. We'll get a neutral ice draw. Looks like a center ice draw on the offsides call. Hawks win the draw. D-to-D pass across their own blue line. Chipped ahead into the zone. Miles stifles it in the corner. Tony battling for it there. Max along the half wall. Comes up from the blue line. Hawks walk into the circle with it. Poke back to the corner. Tony in the corner. Has it taken away. Miles hits the Hawks player with it. They've got it. Control in behind the net. Played off the far wall to the point, sent back down into the middle. Hawks have it. Shot, gloved, and held onto by Jace. He flashed leather on that one. 5:56 and counting. Face-off comes to Jace's right. Draw one to the far wall. Matt has possession. He chips it high to the line and out. That bounced over his stick. Hawks wait to get back on sides, dump it right back into the end wall. Matt picks it up there, curls around behind the net, chips it up the near side wall, intercepted on a pinching play by the defender. Miles now plays it to the line, but not out. Hawks center all the way through to the far wall. Griffin on his backhand, plays it ahead for Tony. He's able to force it out of the zone. Has possession, starts ahead. Fires from the top of the circle. Goaltender gloves and hangs on. 5 minutes left in the third. Rails quickly running out of time to make a comeback. Hawks win the draw to the corner. Chip out attempt held in by Ruxin. Second attempt up and out of the zone. Foot race for the puck along the far wall. Hawks have it first. Miles forces them around behind the net. Hawks get possession, dump it back down to the corner. In behind the net. Still sitting behind the net with it. Plays it back to the corner. Hawks have. Centering attempt taken away by Garrett in the slot. He goes out the far side wall. That's going to make it all the way the length of the ice, and icing the call with 4:16 left and counting. Rails forced to start from their end once more. Hawks win the draw back to the point. Down into the corner. Sent out front. Puck loose. Backhand scores! All alone on the doorstep. Puck squirts through the slot, and the Hawks now up 8-1. 3:30 and counting left in the third here. Hawks win the draw. Sent up far side into the offensive zone. Shot from the slot. That's blocked by Matt into the corner. He'll pick it up. Starts up the near side wall. Gets it to Will, who gets it out of the zone. Ruxin tips ahead for Brecken off his skate loose. Ruxin now picks it up into the zone. He'll fire a shot off the blocker into the corner. Hawks pick it up out the near side wall into the offensive zone. Matt leans on him there, forces them to the end wall. Still battling, puck in their feet. There's 5 players there. Hawks walk away with it. Wraparound attempt stifled by Garrett. He takes the puck out of the zone up the far wall. Tries to cut to the middle. Poke check takes it away. Hawks fire it right back in. Matt picks it up on the near side half wall. Chips it to the line but not out. Will retreats, picks it up in the corner. Sends it along for Garrett. Garrett tries to go through the middle. That's held in at the blue line. Matt picks up the held in attempt. Brecken couldn't get to it. Hawks can't get it into the zone. Taken away. Puck squares free. Will picks it up at center ice. He's into the offensive zone. Poke checked off his stick in the high slot. Hawks clear back up the near side wall. Matt battling for it at center ice. Hawks force it in. Garrett over to pick it up. Garrett turned back in his own end, starts back up near side, places ahead for Will. That skips over his stick, icing indicated. That'll be the call with 1.5 left in the third. Hawks win the draw. Puck forced down in. Comes back out to the slot. Shot hits the bodies out front. Puck still loose in the slot. Jace with the save there. Hawks with it. Back to the point. Shots. Goes wide of the net. Miles will pick this one up. Retreats in behind the goal. Stops. Plays it up through the middle. Hawks hold it in. Shot hits a body out front. Hawks play it through the slot. Matt clears to the wall. Hawks force it back down to the corner. Tip back to the circle. Centered. Puck squirts to the slot. Shot from the far dot. That goes wide of the net. Hawks still have. Play it down into the corner. Declan battling behind the goal. Hawks retreat. Sent back near side. Back behind the goal. That gets through. Gray, the first one on and on the half wall there. Chips it up and out of the zone. Declan centers. Gray has it. He carries it, dumps it into the offensive zone. 10 seconds left in the game. Hawks behind their own net. Declan takes it away, turns, wrap around, stifled by the goaltender's poke check. Puck back behind the goal. And that'll end it. Hawks advance to the elimination quarterfinals by a final score of 8-1. Rails headed home early. Third period shot total for the Hawks, 5 for a third period save total for Jace of 3. Third period shot total for the Rails, 4 for a third period save total for the Hawks goaltender of 4. Game shot total, the game save total for Jace, 21. Hawks goaltender game save total, 10. Again, Rails headed home. Hawks headed to the quarterfinals of the elimination game. They'll play the loser of Cloquet versus Halleck. This will end the Rails PWB1 season. It's been nice broadcasting for you. Hoping to see you next season. Have a good one.